All right, so I'm just a stupid dog, and the title of this take is the title was given to me by the producer, and this is a tragic thing. The producer, he was texting me. I don't know if he was FaceTiming me or texting me or live streaming. Anyways, the producer got in a vicious car wreck just when this take was getting good. And so this is like a fragment of a take, but this is like something that should be preserved for posterity. You know, when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls in a cave over there in Afghanistan, in the desert, or at the salt flats of the Salt Sea, they found the Dead Sea Scrolls because even those people way back 3,000 years ago, it's like you put them in the caves over here by the salt flats, they're preserved that way. The papyrus that lasts a long time. So anyways, these guys, they dug up archaeologists, they dug up, the Dead Sea Scrolls. They had two fragments and they would figure out a whole chapter of the Bible from two fragments. You figure it out. I can't do it. I'm a stupid dog. Anyways, the producer was giving me the notes for a take, and I'm always against the producer because I think the producer's a moron because the producer's young and stupid and idiotic. He doesn't have any experience, and he doesn't know nothing. He doesn't know his left hand from his right hand. He does not know his ass from a hole in the ground. One time I looked at the producer. I was like, hey, what's that over there? It was a hole in the ground. He says, is that my asshole? I was like, no, bud, that's a hole in the ground. He's like, oh, I thought it was my asshole. I don't know. Whatever. It's okay. Don't worry about it. But anyways, the producer, he gives me this take. He says the title of the take is Your YouTube Driver Better Be Black, because he says black people, when they YouTube drive, or Uber drive, your Uber driver better be black, because white people, they're always fucked up. While as the black people, they're just trying to make ends meet. You always want to request, even if you're a lily white, prejudiced black dude, you should always request a black Uber driver because they're just out there beating their time in, trying to make ends meet, making two ends fit together, trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. These guys are just trying to make it happen, whereas the white people, you don't know what they're doing. The white people might be Russian plants. They might be some kind of freaky deaky they're subversives. Don't worry about it. The producer was the one telling me, like, you want to have a black Uber driver, okay? Anyways, your Uber ride is going to be shitty when your Uber driver is already talking to you before you can ever even get to the car. And that's what the producer was saying. The producer is like, hey, this Uber ride is going to be shitty as soon as you see it's a white dude. Case closed. It should be a black guy. And the producer's a young, fit, trim, healthy white guy who's just trying to get along in this world. Anyways, he said, if your Uber driver is already talking to you before you can even step up to the car, you're in trouble. If before you can touch the handle of the door, your Uber driver's already yapping. He's telling you all this bullshit, his life's history. His wife had a hysterectomy. He doesn't really have a wife. It turns out the wife thing was a ruse. He's a homosexual. His homosexual friend skewered him with some kind of a hot thing. He skewered him with a hot poking iron. He stole his dog. His dog was stolen. This Uber driver is a homosexual whose homosexual love interest stole his dog after half-assed raping him with a hot poker iron. You tell me. And this is what I want to hear about? I'm like, dude, are you sure there's no black people you can send over here to Uber me around, there's no black people to Uber me around? I don't know. If they're already yapping, you're in trouble. Hey, If you are getting a bunch of verbalization, if you're hearing a bunch of shit you don't care about, you know your Uber driver must be white. You know that old thing where there's like, here's your sign. If you know you're a, if your date has no teeth, maybe you know you're in Appalachia. No, don't criticize Appalachia. Don't dare credit. I'm yeah, stupid dog does not criticize Appalachia. If you know your date has no teeth, maybe you're like, oh man, maybe I'm gonna get a good, fellatio episode here. Don't worry about it. Everybody's okay. I'm all right. Don't worry about it. But if you think you're gonna have a good Uber ride and your Uber rider's white, a 60-year-old gay man who starts talking about school shootings and dog theft, dog, canine, uh, uh, what do you call it? Where they do the thing where they kidnap them and they hold them out for ransom. If they're starting to talk about that horse shit, maybe you're like, this chatty Cathy has to go to bed. I can't take it. Send me a black dude to be my Uber driver. All right. When I see a white face, this is what the producer said. When I see a white face, I get pissed off. When I see a white face at my Uber driver, 100% of the time I get pissed off. You know, this guy is going to be over the age of 40. He's going to be a chatty Cathy. He's going to be dumb as fuck. And he's going to be messed up. His life isn't going to make any sense. He's going to be one of these guys that might be one of them serial killers or a mass shooter murderer. Okay? You want to get the black people. It's very few times. You could ask Donald Trump about this. I'm a young stupid dog. It's very few times you want to just hope you get the black people. Because the black people, they come up rougher. They come up more tumblesome. They got the shootings. They got the thing where if you try to excel, they come and kill you. The gang members come and kill you. He wanted to be a 4.0 student and become a nurse or a doctor. The gang members, they came over and they shot him dead in cold blood. They shot him down in the streets in cold blood. Okay, hey, that's all right. It's okay. Still, them people that get shot down in cold blood, they pass away in their pools with their own warm, simmering, cooling pools of blood. They say, it sucks, but whatever. It's okay. They make the best Uber drivers. The people come out of them neighborhoods, they make the best Uber drivers because they don't want to know you. They don't want to figure out about you. They don't want to treat you to their life story. And all these white people, these arrogant fucking white people, these masters of the universe wannabes, they want to figure out how they can just get from point A to point A, from point A to point A. It's not even from point A to point B. It's from point A to point, it's like from point 1.0 to point A 2.0 without trying to have a human connotation. And the black people are like, that's okay. Fuck you all, they're white people. We're just going to Uber drive you. We don't want to fucking figure out your life story. We want to share our life story. But the white people, turns out half the time they're homosexual, they're freaks, they're abuse victims, they're sexual assault survivors. Men, sexual assault survivors from other men. That's the thing they're doing. And I think and the producer's like, I think it's because they're like one step away from becoming a sexual assault predator themselves. They're like feeling you out. You're like, oh my God, you think, I'm a sexual assault survivor. And the Uber patient, the Uber passenger is like, dude, what? And the Uber driver's like, yeah, I'm a sexual assault survivor, and I was wondering, could you hike up your drawers a little bit so I could see how big your penis is? And the passenger's like, what? You think I want to, what? What? I don't even understand. It's a thing where, when everybody gets problems, they pass their problems on along, they think it forgives them. You're not forgiven. You're not going to be forgiven. Anyways, the producer's like, as soon as I have a black driver, I'm like, oh God, thank God I can relax. I can just rest. And the producer, he packs. It's he packs a Glock. He thinks the Glock is the best thing to have. I think a 38 revolver is the best thing to have. I'm a stupid dog. I think a 38 revolver. The man thinks it's a Glock. But he clutches his Glock as soon as he gets in his Uber. He's ready to shoot somebody's heads off their body, off their neck. He's ready to separate their head from their neck, a la Glock repetitive trigger pulls. But the truth is, like, he's like, as long as it's a black guy, almost 99.9% of the time, I'm just going to take my ride, pay my fare. If it's a white guy, I'm nervous as all get out because I'm sure this guy's trying to size me up to see if he could rape me. He could introduce me to his cult. He could try to get me to come out and pick tobacco on his tobacco farm. He could try to get me to come up there to his big, rich, posh estate and cultivate his tulips and become a tulip farmer. He's trying to, as long as he's a white guy, he's like, I want to try to get you to, I want to try to bait you into coming up and becoming a work hand on my night crawler farm, my worm farm I'm building from the ground up. I'm starting to do this thing where I'm trying to cultivate a worm farm. No. As long as you get a black Uber driver, you got a good chance to get home unscathed. If a white guy, a 60-year-old, a 40 to 60-year-old homosexual white fuckhead shows up, starts yapping before you can even reach out to touch his car door and let yourself in the back seat, he's already yapping about some horse shit, you're in trouble. Figure it out, my friend. The producer, and this is the sad part, the producer got in a car wreck because the producer bought this old shitty BMW. The producer thought he would hang out with a bunch of cool, ritzy titsy people who thought they were all that and all this, and they all drove BMWs. The producer bought himself a 1992 convertible BMW with 180,000 miles on it. And as soon as he bought it, they said, you needed new shocks. You got to have new shocks. It costs you $2,000 for some new shocks. Also, I think there's a leak on your power steering, and it's going to cost you $3,000 for your power steering. So the producer, he's such a fucking stupid idiot. He should have bought a Toyota Corolla, a $7,000 used Toyota Corolla for cash. You'd have been all right. He would have driven for 7 years with no problems. Instead, he paid $8,000 for a 1992 BMW convertible. It's cost him $4,000 since the day he bought it, and it's cost him $800 a month in repairs. The producer's a stupid fucking mokes. The producer's a stupid fucking half-witted moronic son of a bitch. But it's okay. Because producer's the only one who could figure out that you want to have a black Uber driver versus a white Uber driver. And almost no place in society do you find a bunch of, lowest rung middle class humans, white people, white Caucasians, lower class, lower middle class, or upper working class, mid to upper working class whites saying you can only go black. You can only go black. You only want black. You only want to get the blacks. You only want black. You tell me, where is this happening? I mean, I should get a Nobel Prize for discovering this. Maybe somebody else could share this Nobel Prize who's discovering it as well in whatever country there is, where they wear their shorts for pants. In some country where they wear their pants only for special occasions, but most of the time they walk around in lederhosen, they would say, we're going to share this Nobel Prize because somebody figured out, turns out it's a producer, I'm a young stupid dog, I should get a taste. The producer figured out that You only want black people to be your Uber drivers. You do not want white people to be your Uber drivers. Let me repeat that, because all this rambling and all this bullshit. The producer got in a car wreck and he couldn't finish his take, because if he could have finished this take, this would have been something great. Turns out he got in this car wreck because he's got an old, shitty BMW convertible. The shocks were out. They didn't have no brakes. He careened into an abutment. Thank God he didn't crash into anybody else. He crashed in his own car into a piece of concrete. He crashed his own car into a piece of concrete. That's okay, because the producer's like, you know what? It's not me. Blame me. I'm an idiot. Anyways, the producer's like, what I discovered was you only want to have black people for your Uber drivers. You do not want to have white people. And perhaps Bob Dylan should call him up and say, I forfeit my Nobel laureate prize. I'm a Nobel laureate for literature. I'm going to hand it in and say, give this guy over here, the producer, the Nobel for science of discovering that you only want black people to be your Uber drivers. In this day of our Lord, April 11th, 2025, it's discovered in this racist or weird Donald Trump world we live in, you only want to really have black Uber drivers. You don't want to have white Uber drivers. The whites are the troubles on the Uber driving. They're the ones that you got to be careful about. And the blacks, it turns out, 99% of the time, you're like, okay, it's a transaction. You get done with it. It's a transaction. It's a business transaction. You don't have to worry about it. You want to have the blacks. When your Uber driver pulls up, you pray to God, you look in there and it's a black face, a black chalky face. Maybe he's got big lips. Maybe he's got dark eyes. He's got kinky, beautiful black hair. You're not worried about it. You're like, oh my God, thank God he's not a white. He don't look Aryan. He don't look blue-eyed. He don't look pasty. You want to have the whites for your Uber drivers. You don't want you want to have the blacks. Excuse me, I'm a stupid dog. I always get it wrong. Every time I get it wrong. You only want to have the black Uber drivers. You don't want the white Uber drivers. I'm a stupid dog, and I heard the producer say this, and I believe he's kind of right, because I experienced it a little bit myself as a passenger. As a sidekick, you don't want to have the whites. You want to have the blacks. You want to have the blacks as your Uber drivers. You don't want to have the whites. If the Uber driver pulls up, it's a black, you got a better chance. You do not want to F around with them white Uber drivers. You're hoping you get a black Uber driver. You want a black Uber driver over a white Uber driver. You want a black Uber driver over a white Uber driver.